The devastating fires in Maui that we have all witnessed, the question on our minds may not be, who are you? But the question on our lips might be, why? Why does God permit these things to happen in our world? Why the destruction, the hardships, the loss of life? Why doesn't God spare us from these things? We know that droughts are sometimes good for killing certain infectious microbes that live in the world. Forest fires, in a similar way, they wipe out threats. They bring about new growth in a forest. And out of the fertilizing ashes of old comes new life after a volcano. I recall Mount St. Helena erupting when I was a child. And now if you go to that area, it's beautiful once again, as that new growth has sprung from those ashes. Hurricanes, they end droughts, they replenish water. Earthquakes result in plates in the earth shifting, and the earth becomes stronger after those earthquakes. And all of these events are all part of the earth's cycle in restoring itself. They help to kind of renew the face of the planet. And in the long run, they actually help to support life. In the process, however, people die. Thousands of people die when these things happen. People are left homeless. People are left without food. They're injured. They're frightened. These are the issues uppermost in people's minds as we see that devastation in our own nation once again. A few years ago, posting began making its way around the world on the electronic community. And I'll quote what it said. It says, as Hurricane Harvey prepares to batter Texas, federal disaster officials have warned that internet outrages could force people to interact with other people for the first time in years. Are bracing themselves for the horror of awkward silence and unwanted eye contact. FEMA has advised, be prepared, write down possible topics to talk about in advance. Sports, weather, etc. Remember, a conversation is basically a series of Facebook updates strung together. Isn't it a sad world that we live in, that something like this has to be posted? There is much truth, however, in that statement. Perhaps God is permitting tragedy to call us out of ourselves, to maybe give us an opportunity to escape from all these modern-day conveniences, maybe our narrow-mindedness, and see His face in the needs of our brothers and sisters. I think back to 9/11 and its aftermath. It was almost like a tsunami of love washed over the face of our nation. As I recall, as a young priest, our churches were full with people. People were praying. They were on their knees. People were responding to the needs of others, helping those widows who were now without their husbands who had died. Helping the children who had suffered from this devastation. People dropped everything to help one another. Yet sometime around January of 2002, we began to heal from that trauma. I've always wondered, though, what was the healing? What was the healing? Because shortly after that, Those churches that were filled with people suddenly were no longer filled with people again. Seeing the needs of others, we tend to forget about them. And we cared more about ourselves and our own needs. What did we really heal from? It tends to refocus the question. The question is not the question isn't why God permits tragedy. He does so to help us regain the best of our humanity. But maybe the real question is, why is the lesson so short-lived in our world? Why haven't we learned? Why does it happen time and time and time again? When will we as a people, when will we as a nation, when will we as a world put God first in our lives? What will it take? We might be asking ourselves the question, why? But maybe God's asking us to ask the question, how short-lived will this be again? And when will we once again return to God?